So a bunch of you left me messages on my last video asking me to do this tag that's going around right now on YouTube, and it is the if I lost all my makeup, what would be the top 10 items I would purchase first? And this was actually a lot harder for me than I thought it was going to be. Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Melissa, and today I'm doing the tag that I think was started by Emily Noel, although she didn't really start it as a tag. It was part of a Q&A group of questions, and someone asked her if she lost all her makeup, what would be the first 10 things that she would purchase, and she thought that was such an interesting question. She didn't want to answer it in a Q&A format, and she actually decided to do it as a separate video, which I think was really smart, because I think you have to really think about this a little bit, and you really want to make sure that you can put together a full face of makeup and not just, oh, these are my top holy grail things. Well, if you have no makeup, you need a bunch of things in a bunch of different categories. So at first, I thought this was going to be really easy. I thought, oh, sure, I know exactly what I'm going to pick. I'll just bang this out really quick. And as I started to pull products out of my collection, I was like, huh, well, I don't know. Would I rather have this or would I rather have that? So it really did make me think very carefully which products I chose. I also wanted to make sure that whatever I chose was something I could actually buy right now. So I didn't want to choose anything that was discontinued, so it also required a little research on my part, like, okay, this is a favorite I would love to repurchase. Is it still available? Some things are a little bit newer to my collection than others, but I have fallen in love with. Others are old favorites that you will remember seeing in other videos, but that's the nature of the beast with this tag. I have a little parting comment at the end because it was definitely an interesting task. So naturally, I am wearing all of these products on my face today so you can see how they look as I talk about them. So I'm going to start off with face products, and this was, on one hand, really hard for me, but then on the other hand, it became really simple once I realized that one of the foundations that I really love is still available. Because a lot of foundations that I really love are now on their way out, being discontinued, and I couldn't include them. But the one I chose is the Sephora Collection Perfection Mist Airbrush Foundation. I think I featured this in a video for Spring Favorites where I went through and did all my lightweight foundations that I really love. This is definitely a lightweight, light coverage foundation. Now, I think you could possibly build it up, but today I'm really only wearing one layer of this, and how I do it is, give it a good shake, and then I spritz it onto the bottom of a beauty blender and tap it on. It feels cool and refreshing. It feels like nothing on the skin. It gives nice coverage, and it is one of my favorites. This is probably my second or third bottle of this I have purchased. And someone said that it wasn't available. I checked, it is. All the colors are available on the Sephora website. And the shade I wear is called Light. Don't do this. Psh, you'll have a hot mess on your hands. For concealer, I chose the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Concealer. This is really a lovely drugstore concealer that is creamy. It has nice coverage. It's super easy to wear. The shade I have is Classic Ivory. Now, I think they may have renamed the shades, but this is one of the lightest shades they make. I like to use this under my eyes, around my nose, where I have some redness. I do put it on some blemishes. It's not the fullest coverage for that, but especially what I got going, this situation I got going on over here, but I love this. I already have a backup waiting to open as soon as I finish this up. And sometimes during the summer, I will just wear my BB cream and use this to blur out the redness and be done with it. I don't even really wear a lot of foundation. So next up is the setting powder that I chose. I would normally have like a loose powder here on my desk when I'm doing my makeup in the morning, and a pressed powder that I keep in my purse. And I could not afford to give 2 of the 10 slots to powders. I just couldn't. So I chose the pressed powder. The one I currently are using is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores. So I wouldn't say that this is a holy grail powder for me. I think it can go on a little powdery, whereas I feel like the loose powder goes on a little bit smoother and is a little bit more pore blurring. But for ease of convenience and being able to have a pressed powder, this is one that I reach for the most. So to finish off with face products, the next 2 products are a blush and a highlighter. I absolutely had to go for my latest addition to my collection. It is the Marc Jacobs Air Blush in 506 Flesh and Fantasy. It is my new favorite neutral blush, a blush that'll go with everything, any kind of color scheme that you're using on your face or your eyes. It just is gorgeous. And you can go into this darker end and do a little bit of somewhat contouring if you want. You can make it lighter, you can make it darker. It's a really flexible blush, and I think this formula is really terrific. So next up is a highlighter, and I love this one from Laura Mercier. It is their Highlight 01. It is a matte highlighter, which sounds a little crazy, but what it is, I mean, it is a highlighter, you can see that. It is very soft and natural looking. I've even used this under my brow bone if I want a little bit more oomph, I've used a little bit over my brows, if I want to give them a little lift. Today I just used it on my cheeks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So number 7 is going to be an eyeshadow palette. You knew I had to pick a palette because why would you limit yourself to just one eyeshadow when you can have a palette and have multiples? And I really struggled with this. So I wanted a palette that could work really hard for me. One that could give me a really neutral look. One that could give me a great work look. One that I could spice up and wear out and maybe have a little pop of color. I also wanted a good balance of matte and shimmers. I'm sure some of you might be able to guess, because this is one that I've talked about before on my channel, but I haven't talked about it in a while, because I felt for a while there this was all I was talking about, and so I kind of put it aside. But this is one palette that I absolutely would have to have in my collection, without question. And it is the Japanesque Pixelated Color Collection. So what I love about this palette is it's really like 2 palettes in one. On this side you have your basics. You have a matte highlighter, you have a shimmery highlighter, an absolutely gorgeous transition shade or crease shade, and a dark black that you can wear as a liner, or you can deepen the color. Just these 4 shades are the workhorse of this palette, and actually if I could get this in a single, because I think it's the perfect shade for me, I would, but who knows what it really is, so. And then on this other side, you have a lot of different pops of color. And what fits the bill here is you have some great neutrals. So you have this beautiful brown, which I'm wearing today. You have a cool and a warm tone gray that you could work into any look, and then you have a couple of brighter colors that you could wear like as a pop of color on your lid. You can put them underneath your eyes to like line your eyes with a pop of color, and I did not do that today because I'm going to have my driver's license photo taken after this. I'm going to go ahead and try and do some good swatches for you. So here are the neutral shades. These are the highlight shades. So I think what you'll notice is like these 3 shades are shimmery, but more of like a satin finish. and the more colorful shades have a little bit more glitter in them. So it makes these shades really wearable for every day. And today I'm wearing pretty much all 4 of these, and I went ahead and used this in the outer corner and blended it up into the crease for today's look. I think this is totally wearable for work, for any occasion. This is just a great basic look. Then I used the black to tightline my upper lash line, which I think gives it some beautiful definition. And I used it to set my eyeliner along the lower lash line, and I'll talk about that next. It is the Makeup Forever Aqua XL Waterproof Eye Pencil in the shade M14, which is, what do they call this? A matte charcoal gray. And this is like definitely a ride or die for me. So here it is here. So I put this a little bit under my lash line, and I went ahead and set it with that dark black powder just to set it, but I don't always need to do that. And then on my lashes today, this is my Holy Grail mascara, one that I measure all mascaras against. It's the L'Oreal Voluminous Butterfly Mascara. I use it in the waterproof version just because I don't want to have to worry about having raccoon eyes. And I just love this brush so much. You get nice lift and separation. If you need a little bit more color, you go ahead and use the top rounded edge. I love it. My lashes hold the curl beautifully in this, and it doesn't budge. And it's not excessively hard to remove. So the last 2 items on the list are taken by lip products. Because I feel like lip products can transform a look from day to night just by putting a brighter color on it, or, you know, it can just change the look. With just swapping out your lipstick, you can change a look. So I wanted to have a couple of choices in this list of 10 products. The first one is new to me this season. I've talked about it a lot. I'm wearing it today, and it is the L'Oreal Color Riche Shine Lipstick in Varnished Rose. This is a great everyday lipstick. Anywhere, anytime. It's moisturizing. It's totally a favorite of mine. So I knew I wanted to include this. But then I was like, okay, what do I pick next? So this might be considered a little bit of a cheat, but it is one product, and it is a dual-ended lipstick from Wander Beauty. I frequently will take this on vacation because it fits a nice kind of neutral daytime look and a brighter evening look. Let's demo that, shall we? So one end is this pinky mauve shade. This could be great for work. It could be great for going out to dinner at night if you wanted a little bit more subtle look. It's a little bit pinky, but it's also a little beigey. I absolutely love it. This is Exhibitionist, which is a beautiful, like, raspberry, reddish, bright, colorful lipstick. Oh my gosh, this is just so wearable, and it wears off beautifully, so as you eat and drink, it does leave a little bit of stain behind on the lips, so it wears off beautifully. It's divine. So this is BTS, and this is Exhibitionist. I love to travel with this duo. It's just fits the bill, and I can feel comfortable knowing I just have one in my purse. I'm not going to lose control. Just have one. It'll do me fine. But what I liked about having this also in my collection is that it would refresh. This would absolutely refresh that BTS shade beautifully, and late enough in the night it would refresh this as well. So I just wiped off that raspberry shade, and this is the staining effect. So it does leave some nice saturated color on your lips that you could easily refresh with something like this. There is a method to my madness. So I didn't include any kind of skincare, primers, face products, or anything like that in this grouping because, oh man, that would have really been difficult and probably unworkable for me. I just don't think I could have managed. I mentioned earlier in the video that I had something I wanted to share at the end. I would probably want to have some kind of a setting spray, but I was willing to sacrifice that for all these other products. So the other thing is a little bit of an eyebrow hack. I don't regularly or routinely fill in my brows, so you'll notice there was not a brow product in this group of 10 at all. But I would typically brush them out with a little spoolie. And what I did today, just to keep them in place, and this isn't something I do all the time, but I felt a little powdery up in my brow region. And I went ahead and just sprayed it with some hairspray. Just sprayed it directly onto here and just brush this through, and it gives a little bit of hold to your brow and keeps them in place without a separate brow gel. So most people have some kind of a hairspray in their collection and an empty spoolie that they could use to do that. So those are my two little add-ons or hacks, if you will. So links to all the products I used today are listed in the description box. Thank you for joining me today. I publish videos every Saturday morning. If you missed last week's video, I'll include a link to it here. And if you are new to my channel, just stopping by for the first time, I would love if you would subscribe. And you can do that by just hitting this little bee icon here, and that'll take you to my subscription page. Thank you so much, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.